Okay. All right. So we'll wait until people come on. But today I'm super excited because I have Avery on with me, who is I'm going to call you a DealMachine OG. Just because,
Right on.
just because I know DealMachine was around prior to us starting, but like we started around the same time. And I feel like you've seen DealMachine grow to what it is now.
I definitely have.
I
I definitely
mean,
have.
you started when like we didn't pin properties, like we didn't have street pick, we didn't have route
Nope.
tracking, we didn't
Nope.
have like any of it.
No. No. And you know what? And what things you guys added? I'm just like, my mind is blown. I'm like, man, this definitely makes everything. Deal Machine already made things easier as it was, but the new things that you added, I'm just like, wow, I'm really, really impressed. And you guys, the staff, and Dave and everybody's been treating me like family since day one. So I really want to give a big shout out to you guys, man. Thank you.
I know. I will say that was like the hardest thing with giving over the support task of like chats, because I was like, oh, I don't get to talk to like my people all the time. And so
Right.
the lives are kind of my now new extension of doing that. So I can like talk to people and see them and get to know them through this chat instead. So
Most definitely, man. This is awesome.
okay, so I know we're still waiting for people to get on, but just start off by like what market you're in and how long you've been doing. Just an intro.
Okay. Well, my name is Avery Smith. I go by the Hands Dirty Wholesaler. So you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, I'm 42 years old, married, father of two. I live in the St. Louis metropolitan area, so the St. Louis market. I've been wholesaling for probably about, I'd say, November 2018. Yeah, I've closed a lot of deals actually. I remember when I first started, it was all pad and paper. So a friend of mine introduced me to Deal Machine, so it was a lot better. You know, everything was a lot more consistent. Things went out right then and there at a drop of a dime versus me having to go home, look at a county website, and then do my homework. It was just really, really exhausting. But Deal Machine made everything a lot easier.
I love it. So how long was it until you closed your first deal when you started?
Let's see here. I think I actually downloaded the promo code in January of 2019. So then we had a pretty bad snowstorm. So that was just excuse after excuse for me not to use it. But finally one day I just was driving for dollars. I'd say it took me about maybe 45 days to get my first deal.
I was going to say, I remember you telling me you got it under contract, and I was like,
Yeah. Hmm.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys been there with me since day one. Yeah. I was driving for dollars. You know, I was really just filling out the market. I was doing more homework actually than executing things. You know what I'm saying? So I actually had analysis paralysis for a little
Oh,
bit. So,
someone dropped that yesterday. Someone said I have analysis paralysis.
oh
So
my
it's
God,
real.
it is really real because the thing about it is, you know, you get overwhelmed with all the videos and all the stuff that you see. Then you see everybody else posting their checks, and you're like, you got the anxiety, like, hey, I really want to get a check. So you're really trying to be good at it, but really, it's nothing really to master. It's just actually just going out there and just doing it. That's all it is.
Yeah. So what do you think kind of kicked your butt, so to say, to like get to actually get out of that?
The fact that I really wanted a deal. I really wanted financial freedom. I really wanted some ownership of my own life versus just doing the 40-40 plan, you know, going to work for 40 hours a week, getting 40% of your wages and spending pretty much most of your life working for a company. I wanted to give myself all the time and my family the value and time.
Well, so one of the things I find really inspiring, and a lot of people start off this way too, is that you're doing this part time, and
Yeah,
so
I'm doing it very part time.
so when you said 5 to 10 hours a week, I was like, oh my gosh. And but you're consistently closing deals though. So
Yeah.
like, what are your processes? And as people come on, please feel free to ask him questions. But I just kind of want to know, what's your processes? You only have 5 to 10 hours a week to work on this. You have a family, you have a
Yeah.
full-time job. Like how do you keep it consistent?
Well, I keep it consistent by the simple fact that, you know, I let my family be my motivation. I'm not going to take no for an answer. Of course, you know, I get people saying, no, I don't want to sell my property. You know, they're not as polite as I just put it, but, you know, it's the law of averages. You know, for every 1,000 no's or every 100 no's you get, there's bound to be one person that's going to say, you know what, I'll give you a shot. What you got? Let's talk. And it's pretty much just taking yourself out of the equation. Don't have a specific number set saying, hey, you know what, I need to make 20 grand or I need to make that. Just help the person. That's all you really need to do is just listen to what they have to say. They'll tell you everything, and then everything will fall into place. Now, of course, if you find a property that needs about $80,000 worth of repairs, you know what I'm saying, and it's only worth $30,000, I mean, it's not going to work. So you really got to have a feel for your market and your area and see what's really going on. So I pretty much just got a touch base. I'm just driving around, putting properties in the queue, getting the cards out there, and then the people's stories pretty much set the tone for how everything's could be executed.
And so how long have you been in your market? Are you from St. Louis originally, like born and raised?
I'm originally from Illinois. I'm a country boy from Lebanon, Illinois. I was raised
Shut
out
up,
there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was raised in the country. Yeah, we pretty much had like population 3,700, and there was only a handful of African Americans. So, as I ventured out and got older, I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, so I was going back and forth. And then I settled down in St. Louis. I've been here about 16 years, and I love St. Louis. St. Louis is an awesome city, man. I've been a lot of places, especially I work for the airline industry, but I'd rather be in St. Louis. I love our traffic. It only lasts about maybe 20, 30 minutes.
That's very, very nice. So what would you say, you said to get to know your area and everything. So did you just do that by just driving around or like?
Yeah, you know what? Pretty much I drove around and then I would look at properties that I queued and I would go to Zillow and see, houses, of that spectrum. Say, for instance, the square footage, the bathroom, the bath. And of course, every area has urbanization and different demographics. So of course, you're not going to get a house that's 200 square foot. I'm using that small example. 200 square foot in the inner city versus a house in the county. They're not going to have the same broad spectrum of profit. So that's how you got to touch and feel and see, what's good for you in your market and where you really want to target at.
So can you take me through your process? So like, are you just using DealMachine marketing? Are you cold calling? Are you texting? Like, what's your process?
Hey, you know what? It's funny. This is my process. Say, for instance, I'm on my way to take my son to one of his practices, one of my kids. So I'll just see a property with a broken window or overgrown grass or a stuffed mailbox. I'll put it in the queue. I'll look and see the property owner. I'll see them a card. If they don't reach out in a certain amount of time, I'll actually call them and see what's going on and see if they got my card.
Do you just send the one then, or do you have any repeats?
Oh, I have repeats. Definitely have repeats. I'll give them about 3 or 4 times because I know it gets cumbersome with people sometimes, and that kind of eliminates the phone calls that you get, with those saying, hey, those phone calls. So yeah, I'll give them about 3 or 4 shots, and then I'll give them a general phone call. And then if they get on the phone, they'll be like, yeah, I got your cards. And then as soon as they say you got your cards or they haven't, that pretty much sets the tone for the conversation. Oh, if you haven't got my card, well, by the way, my name is, and you just let them know what you do. Just don't come out and say, hey, I'm a real estate investor selling your house. Just be like, hey, you know what? I'm looking for certain properties in this area. I don't know if you're willing to sell, but, maybe we can do something. Maybe we can give you a fair offer today.
I was about to say, at least you can reference the postcard as like, I put forth this effort before I even called you. So
yes, most definitely.
Sets the tone for that. So 3 to 4 postcards. And then okay, this is my problem. I would forget how, like, if I sent the postcard, how do you remember when to like follow up with them?
You know what? There is a repeat offer on the app. It says how frequent you want to send it out, every 1 to 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, you control that on the app.
Yeah.
And then I also put a small note on my calendar on my iPhone or whatever smartphone device you got. Just keep tracks or put it in your CRM if you have one available to give you notifications that, hey, you sent such and such address, this card, you got another one going out. I try to do mine every Thursday.
Okay. That's great. Perfect. Cause I was like, I know I can send repeat, but then I wouldn't remember when to actually call them. Cause I would just let the mail go and be like, all right, so I know it's going out, but I would forget like when that actually happens. Yeah. So listen, there you go, people. Put it in your calendar. We all have smartphones. Terry is actually the one who said that he dropped the analysis paralysis the other day. I didn't call you out though, Terry.
What's up, Terry? How you doing, bud?
But he says you've motivated him to changing his mindset. Woo!
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, it does get a little crazy sometimes because, you have the anxiety and you're like, you know what, I want to do this. I want to get it done. But then again, the doubts start to weigh in. Am I fit for this? Is it really going to work for me? Oh, those guys are just lucky. Trust and believe. I was one of those people that used to think like that. But, you have to set the firm tone and believe in yourself. I mean, that's where it all starts. But, hey, you know what? I can do this. If Avery can do it, anybody else can do it. But don't compare your results to Avery results. Have your own personal results. I mean, I've had people that say, hey, man, I got an assignment fee of $10,000. I'm going to tell you a story. I got an assignment fee for $560. And I had to work very hard for it. but I was very proud for the 560. I'll tell you that, because ultimately the woman didn't know she wanted to sell, so it took for me to talk to her for about 6 months, and then finally she decided to sell to me, and I helped her set her own bar for her new life, and that's what really made me happy
Oh,
about it. That's what really
well,
made me happy about it.
I love that you're like, don't think about the money, think about the person you're helping, because that
Nah.
just like, it's kind of like that pay it forward thing where you're just, you're helping her out. You don't know, she could know someone else and refer you and be like, this guy helped me. And, you know, you got
Well,
to live
building
with
rapport
yourself.
is very, very important, because the thing about it is, if you take the money out of the equation, then it's just a heart-to-heart conversation, and you're genuinely trying to help somebody. If you got like, hey, I need $30,000, and I'm not going to mess with anything below that, then it's not genuine, because
Hmm.
nobody's guaranteed to make $30,000. I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong. It's all about results and what you get out of it and how you manipulate your market. And what I mean by manipulate that is that, of course, you got to know your ARV, and that's as you get better. But when you first start out, just think about helping somebody. That's all. That's all you have to do. Just think about helping somebody, because to be honest, the money was never yours in the beginning.
I
And
love
that's how I just
this.
look at it. That's how I look at it. The money was never mine. I just really want to help.
What Gina's asking, what intervals do you do between cards? Do you do the 21 days? What's your, I
You
know
know
you,
what? I do 21 days. I
okay.
mean, I space it out, because I don't want to sit there and flood somebody's mailbox. That way you'll become the annoying guy. You know what I mean? Little small things like that really help and set the tone. One person called me back, and it said, simply because I said a fair, reasonable offer, at a certain amount of time, that really caught their attention. As to what everybody else is like, hey, cash now, quick close, sell me your house. I mean, people really don't like that.
Okay, good. Everyone better write that down. I know I'm taking notes to tell people. Fair and reasonable offer. Have you had any
Yeah,
other like comments coming from your like postcards or anything?
yeah, I'll switch it up. I don't make it seem like it's automatically generated. I put my own little personal touch in it. Sometimes I say thank you, God bless. I had one gentleman get upset. He's like, hey, you guys are out there taking advantage of people doing COVID-19, and then you put God involved in it. I'm like, well, I'm a God-fearing person. I don't really want to get spiritually with somebody, but the thing about it is I'm genuine with it, and no, we're not taking advantage of people, because everyone has options. I'm just trying to be an exit strategy for you. That's all it is. He kindly say no, I'll take you off the mailing list. That's fine. And then the guy sit there and thought about it. He goes, well, you know what? Now that I talked to you, he said, well, I do have somebody who wants to sell a house, so I'm scheduled to go
Stop.
see. Right hand. I'm not lying to you. Right hand. He didn't want to particularly sell his house. He said he gets dozens and dozens of cards, and he said the reason why he called me is because it said "Thank you, God bless" on it. So
Oh my gosh. That's so
yeah,
crazy amazing.
yeah.
So that he just was like, well, actually, so you thought this conversation was starting off as like a,
Oh, we were bumping heads. We were bumping heads because he thought I was trying to take advantage of him, and I just listened to him. I didn't really get defensive automatically. I heard everything that he had to say. I apologized first, and then I let him know exactly what I do.
I love that. And you make it sound so like it does need to be a conversation, not like a script, I guess. Like,
No, no. I mean, I used to follow a script. I'm not going to lie to you. I used to sit there, and that's where the analysis paralysis came in. I'm thinking like, man, am I going to forget a word? Am I going to do this? I mean, you can embody whatever you want into your business, but I think just ad-libbing, just being generally who you are, will make everything better. Who cares if you stutter? Who cares if you forget something? I mean, you're a human being. If you sound more like a computer, then people are going to be like, oh, you know what? This is a telemarketer. I'm not going to listen to this guy.
the trust isn't there then, because then you're just
No.
like, oh, this is just fake.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because come on. I know you get telemarketers calling you. I get them calling me too. So you're like, I feel bad for them now, because now, before I did the wholesale real estate, I used to automatically click them. I'd be like, don't call my phone. But now, I pay a little homage to him, man, because I'm kind of in the vote a little bit. So I listen to him, hear him out, and I'll be like, no, but thanks for calling. I'm sorry. I'm really not interested. So
Yeah, I know. I do the yeah, because with the cold calling, I definitely went with a script, and so like I feel for all the because so it's tough, but like you said, I love how you started off where it's just like the amount of no's that you get comes to that yes. And Sterling says, "Got to keep going. It can be done." That's
it
right,
can be done. It
Sterling. So
can be
good to
done.
see you on here, my friend.
What's up, buddy?
Uh, so then I know you're still doing this part time, but like how many deals or how many deals are you when are you going to do it full time? That's going to be my
All right.
question.
All right. So COVID has been a blessing and a curse. I've taken this, and me being the person I am, I'm very sensitive to everything around me. So I've been taking a lot more family time, and I used to work all the time because I have wear many hats in my job. Let's put it that way. So now they don't want us on top of each other due to the fact they don't want to spread anything. So I'm home 4 days out the week. I've been a lot more humble and grateful for everything that I have. So I'm pretty much getting used to having my own time and my own schedule set. And I'm looking forward to firing myself from my company.
Yes. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
put you on the spot, but I was like, man,
No, you're good.
I want you to not have a boss but yourself.
Oh man, you know what? I have to thank you guys really, because all the deals that I've gotten done, I've gotten myself LLC'd with the state of Missouri. I have my actual own business called Griffin Acquisitions and Investments. And the thing about that is when it says business owner and you fill out your tax forms and you get stuff sent to your mail, this is the owner of this company, or you got your own business account set up at a bank. There's no better feeling than that in the world. Seriously. I mean, the sense of ownership and you get what you put into it, that is completely awesome. I mean, there's days you don't really want to feel like doing it, but then again, on the back end, you're not going to get anything financially. So you have to constantly keep yourself attuned and consistent and keep going and keep going and keep going. And the results are endless. There's no cap on that, as the young ones would say.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And that's why I was so excited. We had our morning meeting and I was like, I have Avery on today. And I was like, you guys don't know this, but we've been here about the same time with DealMachine. Yeah. And it just seems like yesterday you were saying you got your first contract. And
I still have those emails.
Oh, I do too. Well, I told you, I was looking through the chat and I was just like, wow, Avery and I go way back.
Way back, man. I mean, you guys are like celebrities now, man. Seriously. I mean, and since day one, though, to be honest, since day one, you guys have treated me nothing but like family. I mean, invited me to birthday parties, and I will make the next one. I couldn't make it because I had a job, but now I got more flexibility. I'll definitely make it. But yeah, you guys have treated me nothing like family since day one, from the emails to the coaching calls to even some of a few live chats. But it's awesome, man. I really love you guys, man.
We love you too, and I hope that you can come. I don't know. See, with everything, who knows if we're going to be able to throw a birthday party?
Right, but we can do it like this.
Yeah, we could do a virtual birthday party. That would be fun. Well, and be fun. David did the whole. He'll now be the big 3-1. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Good Life says not having a boss but myself. Yes, that's my goal. Yes.
Hey, it's possible. I mean, the freedom is out there. I mean, these are things that you don't really generally learn in school. It's not an economics class, but you got to surround yourself with positive people that really want the best for you. I mean, I've had a lot of naysayers out there saying, oh man, it's a pyramid scam, or you can't make it, or you're going to mess around and get sued. Don't even let any of that stuff deter you from your focus and what you really want to do. Because for one, you got to see if you got a trust or a deed state. That really helps. And just understand the ins and outs of if you can wholesale and assign a contract. Definitely have a real estate attorney on your team or somebody that you can have reference to, because that helps you out. I don't want anybody to get in any trouble out there, but the options and possibilities are endless out there.
How did you go about, you just said real estate attorneys, and like this goes into like buyers and other things, but like how did you network in your area? Like how did you get these contacts?
You know what? I'm not even going to lie to you. I just, Google is awesome and Facebook is awesome.
I love it.
You can ask for recommendations, or you can just Google real estate attorney in your area, call the guy up. Well, due to COVID, you can't really sit down and bring him coffee like I did, but you can sit there, have a long conversation with him, tell him what you're doing. He can advise you. And then also out of that, just tell him any deals of anybody that's possibly going into probate, you will give him those leads and you guys wash each other's hands.
Ooh, I like that. I'm writing that down.
You guys wash each other's hands.
Have you been in contact with your buyers since COVID about like what has changed with COVID? I know you said you're spending more time with your family, so maybe not doing so much right now, but have you noticed anything with like your buyers or anything like that?
Hey, the market's still hot. I'm still actually
I saw you closing with a mask on the what was it, like 2 weeks ago?
Oh my goodness. All right, so here's the deal. One of my cards via DealMachine, I sent it out. A lady calls me up. She goes, hi. And it was a language barrier. Her sister's husband had passed. So her sister doesn't speak one lick of English. So the sister called me up to interpret for her sister, asking would I buy the house. And they're actually going through probate, and I'm walking them through their entire process. So I got them a real estate attorney for the probate. I helped them get the 401k and everything established and changed over to the widow's name. So it's all about adding value to somebody's life. You know, the average wholesaler, I can't say the average wholesaler. I know some wholesalers that's actually called me up and say, hey, man, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have spent all that time. I picked these people up, spent 5 hours at a real estate attorney's office with them, and just help them get a plan, strategize to where they can get onto their next stage in life.
That's amazing, though. Like,
yeah,
you have such a good heart.
I love helping people, man. I really love helping people because, you know, a lot of times in life, you know, I had myself cornered and I really didn't have any help, and just talking to people does help out. So there's some people that actually reached out because I had my voice shed. But, you know, just generally helping folks that'll put you in a better situation.
Well, I don't know if anyone else notices it, but during this live already, it's only been 20 minutes, but you've waved at more people than you were like, hey, I'm like,
because in my neighborhood, I'm very helpful in my neighborhood. I got some elderly people that stay across the street. The young lady and her husband, he's hardly ever home, so I help her out with her groceries. My father-in-law lives next door, and there's a cul-de-sac up there. My kids play all the time, so yeah.
Do your kids like go driving for dollars with you?
You know what? My kids have been with me on driving for dollars, signing contracts, cleanouts. My 15-year-old, he's 16 now. He has his own landscaping business that I help him with. He cuts some of my clients' yards. Even the people that buy the houses from me, I have them cut their grass.
Oh my God! Wait, so one's 16, and how was the other one?
My other one's 12.
16 and 12, both boys.
Yeah, both boys.
Oh, that's so nice. And he's got that entrepreneur spirit just like his dad.
Of course, man. I mean, to think about it is there's nothing wrong with working for a business, but then again, everything is about a profit margin. A business is only going to give you what they feel you're worth. And if you own your own business, you owe yourself everything, and your self-worth is worth a mountain. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the heights are endless.
Terry says, oh, Terry, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Most def, Terry.
So, okay, someone starting out new, you had analysis paralysis and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. What would you say, like, to get started that you really just need to know, like the basic or do, I guess?
Okay. I mean, if you don't have a computer, you do have a smartphone. So you have some way of reaching out to people and ways of receiving emails. This is what I would do. I would download the app. I would use my 5 tokens very wisely. I would store a lot of properties, and I would sit there and evaluate each one and look at the market and see how houses of those spectrum sell. And if I only got 5 tokens, I would mail 2 of them and put 2 on repeat and save 1 token to see what kind of response you get back.
Oh, I like that. Well, now, so I don't know if you noticed or not, but we changed them now. We have no deal credits, which is really
no deal credits. That's cool.
It's so weird for those of us, though, that have always had deal credits, because I'm like,
that's how throwback I am.
I know. Well, he was like, David goes, we're not having deal credits anymore. And I was just like, what? How do we even operate without deal credits? Oh, wait, It's money. So it's just now. And skip tracing went down to 17 cents. And we actually do corporate skip tracing now, too. So
that's awesome.
Again, it's like, where have we come from? And now we're just like, when I got to announce that, I was so excited because I'm like 99 cents. I was like, I hated telling people don't use us. I hated telling, but I had to be honest because it was like, I know you can get it way cheaper somewhere else.
But it's a sense of growth. I mean, it's all about, resources and references. You know what I'm saying? So to be honest, say if you got $10, all right, and you said 17 cents a skip trace. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about all the people you can skip trace.
Yep.
That $10 can get you 100, 1,000, 2,000, 500. It's not being afraid. It's actually just going out there and doing it. I mean, who cares if you didn't do it right? I mean, who said there's a mold that you got to follow? The only mold you need to follow is that you want it. It's out there and you're going to get it.
So, okay, going back, so I keep having these questions pop in my head, but do you have a goal every week of how many properties to add? Like, how do you keep the pipeline? How do you keep the pipeline fresh?
All right, so I'm going to tell you from start to finish. All right, when I was using no money really, because I was pretty much check to check and I really hated that, I pretty much set aside and cut some expenses. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I cut Netflix, I cut all that stuff out. I'm not discrediting any of those guys, but I had to set a bar for myself. If I want more, I got to put in more. So sometimes it takes sacrifice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Stop going out to eat so much. You don't have to buy so many shoes. You don't have to buy all the stuff that really just becomes a liability versus an asset. You got to change your whole mindset. So I was able to save some money up, and I poured it all in a DealMachine. I'm not going to lie to you. I poured about maybe $300-400 in the deal machine, and I just stayed consistent. Every 21 days, I had maybe about 30 to 40 properties a week I was going at, and I would let it go out, and I was waiting for the response rate to see which worked for me. There was a couple properties that I saw about owner signs in there, and I actually just mailed them out first because I was kind of scared to get on the phone. But then again, the cars didn't get sent back. So I took it upon myself and called that number back that I had stored in the deal machine itself.
Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, are we here?
Oh, you cut out for just a minute. You were going, and I was like, no.
No, I'm still here. You still here?
Yes, you're good now.
All right, good. All right, what part did you get?
I got that you sent out those to the owner to this for sale by owners, and you hit those first, and that was what I got.
Oh yeah, I didn't really necessarily hit those first. I just included those, and those were pretty much just people screaming, "Hey man, buy my house!" But at first, I let the mail do its thing, and to see what response rate I got back, I didn't get the return mail, so I went back and reverse engineered where I went. I saw the houses that already had numbers in, on the front porch, so I called it and just had a phone conversation with the gentleman, and we reached the number, and we got a deal done. But the most important thing you need to do is just set a realistic goal. I mean, of course, everybody wants to be a millionaire and be like, you know what? Hey, what could I do with an extra $1,000? So set that bar small, get your $1,000, reinvest it in your business, and just keep going.
So what's the goal for this year deal wise? Like, do you have a goal of how many deals you want to get this year?
Hey, it's funny. Everybody wants to scale up. All my boys are like, so when are you going to get an acquisitions manager, do all this stuff? I'm like, man, I love actually getting out there myself. I love it. I love it. When you see my business card, I'm going to send it to you. But I just love actually going into these houses, seeing people's life history, seeing their stories, hearing their stories, sitting and talking with them. If I had an acquisition manager or anything like that, it takes all the fun away from me. I just love talking to people. That's just how I am. I got a lot to you. So yeah, no, I just try to talk to as many people as I can.
But I think that's like how you become successful though, is that you're passionate about it, obviously. So like, that's why it's going so well. And I feel, yeah, like I hated stepping away from the chats only because I stopped talking to people. And then now being able to do this has helped me a lot. So, Oh, we have Good Life asking, what's a normal average deal size? I don't know what it is in St. Louis. In Indy, it's probably around 5 to 7K.
Let me tell you something. I had somebody wholesale some land, and they made $21,000 off a vacant lot.
Oh, in city?
In city, just off a vacant lot. So it's endless. I mean, I've had assignment fees as low as $560, and I think my highest assignment fee was about a 9K spread. So I mean, it varies. It depends on how much work is really put into it, and pretty much what really needs to be make the deal done. Say for instance, if the customer or your client say, "Hey man, I really need 20 grand, but the house is only worth 25,000," obviously it's not going to work. So you really gotta feel them out and talk to them and just ask them, "Look, 20 grand is not going to work. We can close in 30 days. What number really can you take? Let's make it realistic, because mind you, I'm an investor. I'm not buying the house to move into it.
Right.
We all want to keep it lucrative. You need money. I want to make money. I have a buyer out there, or I'm potentially buying it. So let's meet somewhere in the middle."
I like that. And yeah, I think it just ranges, because I know that some, like over on the West Coast, it's different than it is on the East Coast and in the Midwest. I just know that at least in Indiana, you're not hitting 10K is pretty great, and hitting 15 is probably even better. So, but I know that the spreads are a little bit lower, but also in the West Coast, in like California, you're having to hit them more with mail because it's such a saturated market, and that's why those spreads can be like a little bit bigger. So it's just give and take.
Well, you got to think about it. If you're on the coast, those are more vacationable areas. If you get anywhere near any type of resource like an ocean or anything like that with a high tourist, attractions, of course, the property value is going to be substantially higher. So the spreads are going to be a little bit different. But the simple fact that you're in the Midwest and life is bigger than anybody. Now, I want you guys to take notes with this. Life is bigger than me, you. Somebody's going to get married. Somebody's going to get divorced. Somebody's going to want to expand because their family's getting bigger, or somebody's going to downside because of financial hardships. So really, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you just take your mindset and just say, hey, the money's out there. I don't really need to worry about a specific amount. Of course, a 20, 30, 40,000 would help. But just something because you help somebody else in exchange is always going to be good. So don't worry about just saying, "Oh, if it's not 5,000, I'm not going to touch it." If it's $5, that money wasn't yours, and somebody helped you get $5. Just appreciate that.
I love that. Yes, we have a shout out from Diron. Hello, I like your little emoji.
What's up, Duran? How you doing, man?
And then Good Life said, "Thanks. I'm on the East Coast, so wondering where are you on the East Coast." I always like to know where people are tuning in from. And yes, please feel free to ask questions. Avery has been a DealMachine member for a while. So if you have processes or things you have questions about of how he maybe uses us, like let him know.
I'm at your guys' disposal, man. Ask me anything.
I'm so excited. I'm just so pumped to see like when you next chat with you, I want it to be like, I fired my boss today.
You know what's funny? I used to sit there and read all these little affirmations. Oh, one day you won't be looking forward to your paychecks. They'll become irrelevant. I said, like, man, there's no way in heck that's going to be for me. And actually, it's the truth. I don't even look forward to, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. The money I work for my company and my job, what's going on? It's always good. Don't get me wrong. But that's not what I look forward to. There's times I forget that I even got a paycheck getting direct deposited because I'm looking forward to the next deal. I got this under contract. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. It's like it's not becoming obsessed with the money that real estate brings. It's becoming obsessed with helping people out there because there's problems that need to be solved.
Yes, and I think COVID has like to the point of the gentleman that thought that you were trying to like take advantage of him. It's like COVID though, you can take that way, or you can be like you're helping people that maybe need that money right now.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
A particular gentleman, he was like, this is a phone conversation. He said, there's realtors out there, there's brokerage firms. Why would I sell you my house? I said, well, okay, let's look at it like this here. When you hire a realtor, they come to your house, they assess the situation, they want to get the most out of it, correct? He's like, yes. I said, well, okay. Then there's a commission you got to pay them, right? He goes, yes. I said, okay. Who pays the closing costs? He goes, well, I'd have to. I said, all right. So what if the end buyer wants to get an inspector to come through? Who's going to pay for that? Well, I think the end buyer would. I said, well, sometimes you guys might have to, go hand in hand and go half with that. Some people might want a home warranty to buy your house. I said, what we do is we change speed and convenient for equity. That's exactly what we do. I said, I hate to use a pawn shop as a reference because sometimes when you go to a pawn shop, you don't get things back. But if you've got a livable number that you can come with and somebody can give it to you within 30 days versus stringing you out 90, 60, and 80 days and have to lower it because, another buyer doesn't want it for that price, I said it helps people out. It may not work for you. It may. But it's just an option you've got. And I'm not saying anything bad about realtors out there. Don't get me wrong, because we love you guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm the basis of the realtors. I work with a lot of realtors, as a matter of fact. I've done probably about 5 or 6 deals with realtors. But, it's just how it is. Some people will think you're the bad guy out there, but really you're just another exit strategy.
I love that too. And you keep it so transparent. A lot of people ask, should I tell them I'm a wholesaler or not? And I think the majority of people that answer that say, yes, I tell them that I'm a wholesaler.
I tell them all the time. And I'm like, well, what exactly is a wholesaler? So I break it down to them a little bit. And I say, wholesaling is pretty much the basis of real estate. I mean, there's got to be somewhere that starts. There's got to be bones to a property, that the property gets built up, and then it gets put on the MLS. I mean, there are some as-is properties on the MLS, but, they're sitting there for a long time versus we come along, we get the job done.
All right, so we've got, is it Tupelo?
Tupelo, Mississippi.
Okay, I was like, I have no clue. All right, Diron, okay, so we got that. We got Sean Hagan, Avery, my dude.
Sean, what's up, man? I mentored this guy right here. This guy here is out here killing it. This young man is killing it.
Killing it? Should I have him on my live? Is he using DealMachine?
Hey, heck yeah, he's using I think he used my promo code, as a matter of fact.
Hey.
Yeah, no, that is a great kid. Sean, what's going on, man? This young man is very, very energetic. Him and his friend, they're out there killing it. This guy is awesome. I love Sean.
Is he in St. Louis as well?
He's on the outskirts, you know. So, hey guys, join any real estate group on Facebook because this is how me and Sean got acquainted. I get a message in my inbox and it says, "Hey, you've been selected for mentorship." I'm like, "Mentorship?" It's like, I'm not a mentor. I was like, I'm learning this stuff myself. But you know, whatever knowledge you know, share it with anybody, man. I mean, it's always collaboration. There's no competition because, like I said, life is bigger than us. There's always going to be the next thing happen. You can't. I couldn't wholesale all of St. Louis if I tried. So there's no point in trying to keep it all to yourself. So I hit the little click button to join mentorship, and it gave me some steps to follow. And I've been hooking him up ever since. And he's out there killing it, man. That dude is, man, he's come across some great deals out there in rural
Sean,
America.
I'll have to be reaching out to you, sir. We got Greenville, South Carolina, which Good Life actually, Pat, who was on the other day, I believe he was from Greenville. Oh, and my dog's Galveston, Texas. Excellent.
Hey, everybody.
And then Avery, how is the market in St. Louis? I thought about doing some virtual wholesaling there.
Okay, you know what? The market in St. Louis is very, very good. You've got a lot of blue collar communities here. You've got a lot of communities that are facing urbanization. You know, you got a lot of people that want to downsize. You got a lot of folks that want to move out to the country. So St. Louis is a great market. I love it. I haven't virtual wholesaled yet, but there's no need for me to do it. I'm just staying in my own backyard.
Have you met with a lot of like Christina Spells or anybody? I know she's in St. Louis.
Oh, Christina is awesome, man. Christina, Chris Monroe. I know all these people personally.
I love it.
Chris Monroe, as a matter of fact, he has a building right up the street from my house. So I see all of his "We Buy Houses" bandit signs all the time. Yeah, so and actually he's called me because I've direct mailed him one of his properties. He goes, "Yeah, you want to buy one of my properties?" I'm like, "Who is this?" He goes, "Dude, it's Chris." I'm like, "What's up, man?" So yeah, it's funny.
I love that you marketed to one of his properties. That's perfect.
Yes.
Terry says, Avery, do you focus on distressed properties, probate, land, etc.? I'm with you, Alicia. You're waving at a lot of people. Maybe you should run for mayor. Avery for mayor.
That'd be funny. You know, I could, man. I like to help my community. You know what? There's no particular spectrum or category that I fall in. I will wholesale anything. I've wholesaled vacant lots. I've wholesaled a house, a farmhouse. It's anything. It's pretty much, you know, when you do direct mailing, it's the response rate that you get back. And, you know, every address has a story. That's on my business card, mind you.
Oh, I love that.
But yeah, you know, you just begin with that, and the people will unfold. So the people that have the property or the address behind it, they will tell you what they need to do, and then you just try to be a resource for them. So yeah, I focus on anything. The FISBOs for sale by owner in the yard. There's times I've looked through Zillow and saw the for sale by owner. The number's right there. I called them up and just talk to them and see how they're doing. I mean, there's endless ways to get deals done.
I do want to ask you, what is your just because, and I say this a lot, so I'm sorry, viewers who watch this all the time and I talk about it, but do you find that you are doing more vacant versus owner occupied, or like do you find that it's pretty similar across the board? Like
here, you know what? I've done a lot of transitional helps, meaning there was a young lady that was going from assisted living and she just didn't have time to even sit down with a broker.
Got it.
I gave her a cash offer on the spot and she accepted it. There's been a lot of absentee owners that I've dealt with. It really depends on the story. I mean, to be honest, it really depends on the story. I mean, you just really have to get out there, mail them, get them on your phone and talk to them. You really have to talk to them. I mean, driving for dollars just in a vacant property. I mean, there might be a guy that forgot. I had a dude that had like a 56 property portfolio when he forgot about a property that he had. I'm like, how do you forget about a property? He's like, man, I just totally forgot about it. He said the taxes are so cheap. I have people that, my assistants, they pay all that stuff. I don't even know the last time I had a tenant. And he just said, make me an offer.
Shh. He didn't remember the last time he had a tenant.
No, he didn't, man. This guy was on his way out. He said, to be honest, I'm on the verge of just closing this deal out, man, because I just want a big
I think that's great, though, because then if he has a huge freaking portfolio and he wants to sell another one, I mean, he knows who to call.
Yeah, he took me up a couple time with a few of them. He's branched out with a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to get on the phone. Just genuinely be yourself and don't set any false sense of motives or anything. And just everything will fold out for its own. I mean, if you constantly sit there and tell people you're there to help, They're going to be like, all right, what value can they add in my life? And then you just say, all right, how about this here? What's your motivation behind selling this property? Let's start with that. And then just be quiet, and they'll tell you everything that you need to know.
I love it. Soleil, how do I separate and export my leads from the old deals? Great question. What you do is you go into leads and you go into filter, and then it says filter by date, and then you can select all. There's a cute little checkbox now that you can select all of them and hit export. Avery was around when you couldn't even do that.
Nope, you couldn't. No, you could not do that.
I will say, like, I'm very thankful for like people like you and who have just stuck around through all of the things that we've kind of gone through. I feel like every time I get on a call with someone, they're like, can you do this? And I was like, no, but I will tell you that we probably will be able to do it in like a couple of months or to a year, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you guys had me along and you guys follow up, and you guys generally do follow me up. I mean, you guys have a great team and support structure because you're sending us emails saying that, hey, we got a Q&A, an answer question here. So you guys can just log on and take a look and take notes and figure out what's going on. You guys don't leave anybody in the dark. And that's what I really like about that, because there's been some companies that will sit there and sell you a dream and they won't follow up behind it. And they just really want that little paycheck or whatever, the little payment that you give them, So I really appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you too. And I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get you on a live, because I was just sitting here and I'm like, who can I get on? And I'm like, why have I've never even, guys, this is the first time I'm seeing Avery, like his face, and we're talking. We've only chatted I feel like we've been pen pals the last
We've been pen pals about a year and a half. Yeah.
So that's and everyone follow him. It's hands_dirty_wholesaling.
Yeah, I get it. That's exactly what my business side is, and then my personal page is the Hands Dirty Wholesaler on Instagram.
You guys should go follow him. Definitely. Oh, snap. He waits to the end. Oh.
Look at this. I've had this ever since you guys sent it to me. Now, how long ago was that?
Oh, that had to have been like a year ago.
I think it was well over a year ago. Yeah, it was probably a year and some months.
Oh my gosh, that was so slick. Gosh dang, you got me. I was like, where did that come? Oh.
Yeah, buddy, man. You guys are the real deal, man.
I gotta send you the white on white one. We have one that's a white hat with white.
Let's do it.
It's slick. I'll send you it. I got this.
Most definitely.
Well,
if you guys go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I just want to say, man, I really appreciate everybody coming in. If you guys have any questions, if you see me on Facebook, or if you see me on Instagram, or you see my business page, please feel free to ask me any questions. I don't care, man. I'll help you guys just like I do the clients out here with these addresses. It doesn't matter.
He'll wave to you on the street. You've seen him wave to everybody who's passed by. I want to see.
When they all see me out here, I'm surprised nobody didn't scream my name yet.
That I'm waiting for right now. Just at the end, someone just, hey, Avery. Also, man. I want a picture of your business card now, because you made it sound super cool. So I want to see.
Yeah, I got you. I'll send you a picture of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Avery. I'll talk to you soon, though.
All right. God bless, man. Thanks a lot, everybody. You have a blessed one. Keep crushing it.